So I want you to start thinking about your current patients and who might be influential. And you could even talk to your team members about this, maybe in your next huddle. So these are some of the professions I want you to think about for your current patients: athletes, podcasters, reporters, photographers, bloggers, musicians or actors, stylists or makeup artists. These are all professions that work on social media to try to build their following, to try to build their personal brand. Once you have someone in mind, I want you to reach out to that person and offer free or discounted services in exchange for posting about you, in exchange for some photos, tagging, or some photos about their experience. So this example here, this is Natalie Montez. And Natalie Montez is my cousin. She lives down in Arizona and she's a photographer. If you were to ask her, if she was an influencer, she doesn't claim to be an influencer. She's not trying to build a business around being an influencer and endorsing a bunch of different brands. She just wants to build her photography business. And so you can see here at the time, she had a little over 3,500 followers. And you can see most of her posts are just her beautiful photography work, right? Just people she's worked with. Now, knowing Natalie, I know she is a very influential person. Everybody loves Natalie. She probably personally knows all 3,500 of those people because she's worked with them or they're her friends. And she just has a great personality and a great influence over other people. Well, her dentist recognized this, and her dentist knew her and her personality and thought, how could I work with Natalie? How could I get her to talk to her friends about me? So her doctor is Dr. Matthew Harmon. And I reached out to Dr. Matthew Harmon to talk about the experience that he had with Natalie, and he recorded this little video for me.
Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Matt Harmon here in Phoenix, Arizona. I want to talk to you about how I got into digital marketing and kind of the direction that I took with it. I have a very unique story. Actually, it's probably not very unique. I'm sure a lot of dentists have done something similar, but let me tell you my experience with digital marketing. So back in 2019, my practice was humming along. I was doing really good. I'd reached a point where I knew I wanted to change directions and start getting more into cosmetic dentistry. And so I understood a little bit about Instagram and social media marketing, but it was very little. I knew that was kind of a direction that I needed to start going. So I made a decision to literally change directions completely in my practice in early 2020. And it started with one person, and her name is Natalie. My wife grew up with Natalie. I've known her forever. She's a photographer. And I knew if I'm going to be doing cosmetic dentistry, I needed somebody to take pictures of my patients. And so I connected with Natalie, and we sat down and brainstormed kind of an idea where I said, hey, I will pay you if I send you a bunch of clients, and it can be a win-win where after I do a smile makeover, I can send you, they can have some professional photos taken, and then I can utilize that content in my social media and in my website and other places. And as we started talking, I found out that Natalie actually needed some dentistry. So here's a couple of photos I'll show you of her case, of her smile. When you look at it at face value, it didn't look like Natalie really needed much dentistry, but then we kind of started peeling back the onion, took some x-rays, a full workup with pictures, extraoral photos and intraoral photos, like hopefully most of you are doing. We realized that she had quite a bit of work that was needed and also work that she wanted. And so through our process, we worked out a deal together where I gave her a pretty considerable discount to do her dentistry. And we started working together in collaboration with her photography services for my dentistry services. Now, they didn't really match up financially, but it worked out just fine in the end. Because what happened was I used Natalie as my poster child for a lot of my marketing. And it worked out to where after we finished with her case, she would send me selfies of her smile that she thought were good. Of course, I thought any picture that she took of herself was good. So I started using that and marketing her face as my brand with my digital marketing. Now, the best part about that was the tip of the iceberg, because the best part about that is Natalie has quite an extensive amount of followers through her photography business. I was able to tap into that network, and through her network, I found one person who just happened to be kind of a local influencer in the Phoenix market. And through my connections with him, I probably got easily over 6 figures worth of referrals from him alone in 1 year. Looking at the connections that we make through social media and digital marketing, and utilizing the patient's photos in our own marketing and in our own advertising, that has been such a win for my practice. And this was back in 2020, right when COVID was hitting, and I was really unsure of where the practice was going to go success-wise. It literally, I almost doubled my revenue in 1 year because of a couple of small moves that I made with connecting with people, getting into their networks, and then kind of having this little microcosmic event where it just kind of scattered through and reached so many branches of different avenues of people through social media. And it all started with one person. So I know it can work. It's worked for me. It continues to work for me because every single person that I meet has other people that they know. There's a bunch of things that I've learned along the way, but the biggest thing is it doesn't matter how many people a person has as followers. The whole thing that matters is the quality of those followers. So if you're thinking about, I need to go in and find an influencer, somebody who has 1 million followers, they might not be the best followers. So somebody who has maybe 2 to 15,000 followers might be somebody that's better than somebody that has 1 million followers. So that's one little tip that I learned over the years of doing this. Good luck in your pursuits and your ventures with doing digital media marketing. I just know it works because I've used it. I've used it for several years, and I keep learning more and more. So good luck.
So many great nuggets of information in what he had to say there. You know, it started with just trying to get some content and some photography around these cosmetic cases, and it turned into this great influencer campaign that brought in so many new patients. So these are some of the posts that Natalie made when she went in. She was asked to post each time she came in. So she would tag the practice, and she does a little video of her reaction when she first sees her teeth. She said, "I ugly cried. Dr. Harmon nailed it. My upper permanent teeth are in. I'm speechless. If you have any dental needs, I highly recommend my dentist, Dr. Matthew Harmon." So I actually reached out to Natalie after I saw some of these posts because I am her friend on Facebook and Instagram. And I said, "Natalie, how did this work? You know, did a lot of your friends reach out to you? You know, were you offered discounted treatment?" And as we found out, she was. So it was this kind of influencer collaboration. But she said, "Blake, you won't believe how many friends reached out to me just from my post." And she actually shared some screenshots of some direct messages that she got. And I wanted to read some of these. "Beautiful. I've been wanting to do my teeth for a while. I am so self-conscious. Yours looks so great. Do you mind if I ask how much? I'd love to start budgeting for it. Hey lady, I'm on the hunt for a new dentist. My current dentist is struggling to keep crowns in my mouth. One I had fixed last Monday fell out again. Is your dentist cosmetology only or all things? Thanks for sharing your story. I've been dealing with some issues of my own and was so close to going to Mexico until you posted. I've had a frenectomy done and gum graft twice. How was your whole process? Did you have to get any implants or just the veneers? And if you don't mind me asking, what does this normally run ballpark? So beautiful. So how does he do this? Does he drill your permanent teeth down to nubs? And OMG, I have to do the same thing. I have major anxiety with dentists. Keep me posted on your journey, please. You inspire me. I will contact Dr. Harmon for sure. Thank you. Sounds like I need the same work as you." So they were asking Natalie about her experience, about how much it costs. How did the doctor do it? You know, what was your experience in the chair? Of course, Dr. Harmon was the one that knows all the answers to this, but they weren't reaching out to Dr. Harmon. They wanted to hear it from Natalie. This is so important to understand that people trust people that they already know, that they already follow. You know, they trust them, not just some random stranger, even if it's a stranger that's a doctor and knows all these answers. So in your practice, how can you get people to start talking about you?